Hello crafty friends, Luise Heinzel here. Welcome back to a new video here on my channel. This is going to be another little inspiration video about some scrappy and painted things here in my little inspiration keeper journal, where I would like to collect some inspirations for painted embellishments and ephemera. If you don't know what I'm talking about, please stop this video here, go back to the playlist, to the first video. There I'm introducing you to this idea behind this journal, so that you can watch that and know what I'm talking about. The supplies that I have here on my desk are really simple, as always, for this journal, because the goal is to make something effectful and something with interest, but with the most limited supplies that you can imagine. I have some baking paper here, so once I protected my table with it, because of that it has these little white stripes here on it. That's white acrylic paint. Then I have some colored book pages. These are, by the way, the pages that I showed you in one of the other videos of this playlist, where I cleaned my my foil where I had my paint on. So this is just a leftover, something like a mocha page or what you call that. Then I have a little piece of color here, so a little thing that we can perhaps use to get a little color spot here that fits to this green very well, I think. And I have a normal book page with nothing on it. Excuse me. Then I have this three different kinds of washi tape. And what I also have here is one of my greens from the color palette that I have chosen in the beginning of this whole journal. A brush, of course. And I also have some inks here and this little tool to bring the ink to the paper. And of course, a glue stick. So yeah. Why have I chosen this double page? So I decided to go from here to here and here to here with different kinds of scraps in this direction. So different combined scraps. But I want to have on the one side this whole stuff without distressed edges and without this distressing ink, and on the other side I would like to do the same thing but distressed. Why? Because perhaps you have a journal where you want to have something really smooth, something really that's a little how can you say that? A little focal point, but in the background. So, for example, you could use this here. So let's just glue it down there. And the rest of the page is for journaling or for whatever, or to put a photo on it. And you perhaps want to add a label or something like that on top of this one paper scrap here. Then it can be a good idea when this whole thing is not distressed, but it's only, like it is there. When you perhaps want to have this scrap a little bit more out of the page, then it can be a good idea to distress the edges a little bit. So let me just do that, to bring this scrap a little bit out of the page. And so that it also looks perhaps a little bit three-dimensional and a little bit altered and all that stuff that we like. And when we glue this next to each other on the other page here, just a second, then we can compare this. I know it's a very easy thing. You think, okay, what is she doing there? But when you now have a journal, a new journal, for example, and you put your signature here, then you can compare directly what would fit better to my page. This normal paper scrap or this paper scrap with this dark frame around. And now I would like to take this as the base, and I would like to show you different things what you can do with only this paper scrap and a little bit of paint. So for example, you have a book page like this. Then, of course, you can also use a single paper scrap like the one before, or you can combine that with a little bit of color. So let me just take out here two that are nearly the same, not such different, so that you can compare it a little bit better. And now I will glue this one without the distressing ink. And this one here, I will distress it. So I hope everyone is okay in these times. I heard about some people that, have the same trouble here like me with this virus, and hopefully you all get better. And it's really, really incredible how this thing spreads around the world. But yeah, I think we have to make the best out of it. So I decided to go on with my little tutorials here. And hopefully that can be a little, something like an inspiration for you. Okay, so you see, it's nearly the same paper scrap, but it's a really big difference. So for me, it's a really big difference. So let me just go a little bit more down here that you can see that a little bit better. I think that's better. And now I just open my green color here. So I try to get it open to add a little spot of color. And this time I will not mix it with water, because I want the acrylic paint to be not too thick, but that it covers here the letters of the paper scrap of this book page. And I just go in and I don't think about it. I just go in and make something like this. It's not necessary to paint something really cool. You don't have to paint a face, a flower, a butterfly, or something like that. This, of course, you can do that, but in this case, I only want to know what happens when I put this color spot here on top. Is it possible to cover up this StazOn ink? Yes, it is possible. But this is only meant to be, some experiment to try out how this can look. Of course, you can use this element exactly like it is here on your journaling page. Why not? But I don't care about, if I paint something really beautiful here. So I only want to try it out. So I think I have to say that again, because, perhaps it can be a little bit confusing, or it can be misunderstood or something like that. So that I think I say it again. The next thing is, let's try to use more than one of those scraps. So I just take my book page here and tear out two of those plain book pages. And then I put this one here. Distress the other one. And of course, you can mix this distressed and not distressed things, but for me and for my imagination at the moment, it's easier when I make it the same. So on the right side, everything is distressed. On the left side, nothing is distressed. And when I perhaps later on would like to choose one of those inspirations, then of course I can mix it. I can say, okay, this one will be distressed, the next one not, the next one will be distressed, and so on. And yeah, that's the good thing, because you can do what you want. So now I take a little bit of washi tape, put it over here. Even if this shines a little bit through, I think that's really interesting with this little stuff there, that you can see the writing of the book page. And of course, I don't distress my washi tape, because that's a thing I never did, and I don't want to start that. Okay, so, and the next layer, I try to get a little piece of this. So I also play a little bit with the dimensions of this paper scraps. So as you can see, they are of course not all the same size, and that's a cool thing, because you can, yeah, compare that and look what's going on when you do them all the same, or in very different sizes, or from smaller to bigger. So you can experiment and look how this whole stuff can come out. Okay, so let's put this here. And I think the people who say it's all about layering, they are so right. And I never thought that. So yeah, when I was new to this junk journaling stuff, I thought, okay, I don't have so many things, and I'm not able to do something. But you see, you don't need much to get a really cool spot to your page. So if you imagine you have this here on your page, for example, at the bottom, and you put a little label here or something like that, then that could look really, really beautiful, I think. So, and that's the thing. Now you can compare how this would look. So I think in a general way we have something like really dark distressed edges, for example. This can be a good thing, and this can be perhaps a little bit too light or something like that. But I'm going crazy with this idea, because that's really, really cool. I never thought that, so I'm a little bit happy about this. Okay, so what can we try the next? Let's try to make a little spot of color with this blue flower here, even if I'm a little bit afraid to destroy it, but when I want to show you that, I have to destroy it. I just teared it up like this, and now I make it like this. And let's go with this green. And perhaps another kind of washi tape. So as you can see, in this case here, it's layered from the bottom to the top. You know what I mean. First I glued this, then I glued the washi tape, then I glued this. But what will happen when we do that a little bit different? That's also a point where I sometimes am really surprised how the different things, so the different layering, what difference that can make. So if you put them all in the same way here, or if you do that a little bit different. So when you do that in the different way with the same scraps, that can be a really, really big optic difference. So let me just put a little bit of this distressing, no, it's no distressing ink. I learned that normally this is not made for distressing, but at the moment I don't have any other ink here, so I use it for distressing. And let's glue that here. And only this purple flower here. Look what difference is that. Oh, I love this idea of this journal so much. I have to say that, because now we can compare what such a paper scrap of a botanical book or something like that would look like when we do it like this or like this. And that's nearly cool. And you won't have so many scraps and so many tries to get the right optic when you have perhaps an inspirational journal like this by yourself. So that's not an advertisement, but perhaps you would like to try it out to make something for your own and for your own ideas. I would be very happy about that, and I, of course, would be very happy to see that. So now I do it like this. So these both scraps now are next to each other and not like here layered over each other. So hopefully that makes sense. And in the next step, I would like to put the washi tape over it. So let me just put this here like this. And I think here you can see this is really cool together. So put a little label here and that's ready. Or put this to a pocket where you can tuck something behind and you are ready. This here looks, yeah, nearly something that can be used in the background or something like that. So you could use those things here, I think, perfectly to put a little paper clip over it, or here make a little corner tuck or something like that, because it comes not such much out of the page. And that's, yeah, I think a cool thing. I think I will go with the same washi tape to be not too confusing and to have a little bit, yeah, something like an overview over this whole thing, because when it's the same washi tape, you can compare it a little bit better with the other things that we have on this page. And now I think that's a total different look than the one we did before, but also I think beautiful. Okay, so of course we can try to add some paint here as well. Let me just put a little bit more here to my book page. So this acrylic paint here is really hard to open, sorry. Now I go into it with my brush, hopefully you can see that, like this. And I use the brush nearly as a stamp or something like that. Make it like this. And what's also a good idea, when you put those little things here, that you make 3 or 5 or 7. So not 2 or 4 or 6, because look at this. 1, 2. Okay, 2, I think 2 is okay, but 3 looks interesting. 4, I think it looks not so interesting when you compare that. Here are 5 and there are 4. I think this looks not so like a harmony or something like that. But when you put one more, suddenly it looks yeah, much more interesting. When you go to a flower shop, for example, they do the same. They would put 3 or 5 or 7 flowers from the same sort of flower into your bouquet, and they would never put 2, 4, 6 or 8 into them. So yeah, I learned that somewhere, I don't know, but I think that can be a really good help. So yeah, that you put those irregular numbers of spots here and not the regular. Okay, hopefully this little thing here was a little bit helpful. I will do some more experiments here with my scraps, and and hopefully you will do that too. And perhaps you would like to show me some of your results. Perhaps you have started such an inspirational journal by yourself. Then I would be very happy when you share your results and show me what you came up with. And yeah, that was it. Very short, very easy, very simple. And yeah, hopefully you can use that for your journals, and hopefully we will see you the next time. Have a great time and stay crafty, stay home, and see you the next time. Bye bye.